welcome to the 10th episode of Forzalicious. Today, we're going to look at a rivalry of muscle cars in the 1960s. Now, we've addressed muscle cars on Forzalicious before, but we haven't really addressed this rivalry. And it's not the rivalry you're thinking. It's not Ford, Chevy, and Mopar throwing it down out there on the street and on the drag strip. No, this is a little different. This is an intercompany rivalry within one company, and that company was General Motors. In the late 1960s and early 70s, General Motors still had unique divisions. And although these divisions began sharing certain automotive platforms, chassis and body styling in the late 50s, the divisions were continuing to make their own engines, their own drivelines, transmissions, and so on. And so the cars still had a little bit of a unique flavor to them. And they kind of competed with each other for the consumer's affection and for their dollars. And so today we're going to take a look at the 4 A-body cars from Oldsmobile, Buick, Chevrolet, and Pontiac that were duking it out in 69 and 70 for the mid-size hot rod dollars. So let's take a look. So the 1970 SS Chevelle, it's got a little special place in my heart. I never owned one of these cars, but when I was growing up, there was a neighbor that lived right behind me. His name was Lance, and he had a 1971 454 SS Chevelle cowl induction. He had it actually really nicely laid out. Wasn't over the moon hot rodded, but he had it lowered a little bit, had some modern tires on it, definitely not the bias ply tires they ran in the 60s and early 70s, and it just looked good. It sat just right, wasn't jacked up too much. I mean, it was one of the sweetest cars in the whole area, and it was painted just like the one you're going to see here, that you see here. Oh, look at this one. Probably the most successful name of the 3, The Judge. And it was Judgment Day for a lot of guys who decided to tangle with this big block Pontiac. This one's got the smallest engine of the bunch, 6.5 liters. But Pontiac, they knew how to build a big block, probably better than any of the other GM divisions. And this guy goes quite well, as you will see. The Judge has arrived. So this is Oldsmobile's entry here today. This is the special edition Hearst Olds 442. Big block, 7.5 liters, powerful car, unique styling, kind of flashy, so it's kind of a cool car. We'll see how it does. This is the Buick GSX. Now this is a beautiful car, very elegant muscle car, if there's such a thing. Another big 455 cubic inch engine, 7.5 liters for our friends outside the United States. And this one's pumped up a little bit to 7.6. This is a really good looking car and performs pretty well too. It's also the rarest car of the bunch here. They didn't make too many GSXs. It's a very, very rare car. You'd be lucky to find one of these.
The in-car camera view allows us to see that cowl induction unit working there right up against the windshield on the hood. As the car needs more air, the unit opens up to allow additional air into the engine. in-car view here on the Judge allows us to see the hood-mounted tachometer. You got a nice clear view of the tach. You still got the tach on the dash as well. The big 455 Oldsmobile was a real workhorse. It just pulled like a freight train. It didn't like winding up past that 6K RPM though, I'll tell you that much. Here in the in-car view, we also see the GSX has the hood-mounted tachometer. This Buick beast of a motor, 455 cubes, easily the torquiest of the bunch with 589 pound-feet of torque. But it also was a free-winding engine, went well above the 6K red line, up to over 6,500 RPM, and it was kind of snappy, surprising for a big block.